So I haven't done one of these in, well, probably a year now. So I thought I'd start off again this year by doing a quick tour of what's going on. I do have two small people following me around, so excuse any interruptions. So we've got our newly placed duck house, and they're in now behind the forest school thing. One of my hellebores that came up this year. And there's the two small shouty people covered in mud. The original chicken enclosure. And I don't think I showed you this last year. This is our new chicken enclosure. Unfortunately, one of the small people left the door open and the fox got in. The willow's coming on really well this year. Back past the brass. And up through the willow arch then. It's starting to come in. We're into our area up here now, which I use for quite a lot of the outdoor learning, and we've now got two raised beds where the chicken enclosures were. The others are over there behind all the gubbins there, the other two. I've started to put in a bean teepee there, and James has started to get the beans ready to go in there. Got a bit more weeding to do, as you can see. And I've definitely got a lot of mowing to do down here. And then we've got our fruit cage. Excuse the noise of the drill in the background, that's the smallest. We've got the rhubarb, we've got some raspberries coming in, black currants, red currants, white currants, gooseberries, and heaps and heaps and heaps of strawberry plants coming in. I need to get back out here and weed again. The grass is starting to take over in here again. So this is Big Roo and his girlfriend. And Big Roo is an excellent fox deterrent, so this is just a two chicken pen at the moment. And then up through the little gate we've got the onion bed. It's doing really well despite the fact that we've hardly had any rain here for like a month. James is just putting in some of the yacon here at the end and has just built himself what looks like a football goal for the cucumbers to grow up. So we've just popped those out, and then this bit of the bed isn't planted at all at the moment. Sorry, the Labrador insists on going on the beds. So this is the seed bed now that we've got going. I've just planted up the last few feet of this at the moment, but we've got a few little seedlings starting to come through, as well as the weeds, which we need to get out and sort. A few little rows of different seedlings. So we've got carrots and purple sprouting broccoli. The white bits here, where we had a sheep's wool mulch around the red cabbages last year, which we've got kind of dug in now. Yeah, so we've got purple sprouting broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, parsnips, kale, all that sort of stuff coming through now here with this bit. Over in the other bed then we've got some ochre planted in front of those leeks there. At the end we've got some horseradish coming up. Then we've got some chives, a couple of courgette plants have now gone out, and then just one side of the bed then is all the rest of it is leeks. And then we've got the two fennels that are doing rather well. Thought we killed them both, but we've got a bronze fennel and an ordinary fennel. And same as last year, we got the big tubs then of spuds all the way around here. James has just moved his Szechuan peppers out of the polytunnel before they spike their way through. They've got some pretty mean spikes on them. See if we can zoom in a bit closer on those. They've got some pretty mean spikes on them, those things have. I've started planting up the banks a bit, so there's a few plants coming in. Some geraniums, and I've put a load of summer bulbs out and cosmere and things out, in the hope that they might overtake some of the weeds. So basically I've done the whole bank all the way down the back end of the polytunnel there. So going into the polytunnel, James has planted his chilies in here. Got some things growing there. Some of the beans and whatnot here, and peas ready to go up the teepee I showed you earlier. I'm then trying to grow from seed some hellebores and some summer hyacinths. The calendula are doing very well there, and I've also taken some cuttings of my roses and a few other bits and pieces around the place, so I'm hoping that they might take. We've then got lettuces down this side of the polytunnel, some beetroot, some spring onions, Some more courgette plants, which are doing rather nicely there now. Big space there ready for, because James likes putting his sweet corn in here. And then over the other side of the polytunnel, we have just today planted the tomato plants. We've gotten big enough, and I think there might be some gherkins there looking at that one. But all tomato plants are now in along the polytunnel. Excuse the wobbly camera. The walkway's gone a bit rutted. We had a bit of a mouse and rat issue in here. So still got some more plants there to go in. More tomatoes along there. This year we're doing pink brandywines and bloody butchers. We decided to go with the big ones. Just for ease of picking and sorting, really. These are our beans and mange tout and peas. Starting inside. Over on the seed trays then, we've got beetroots and some leeks to go in as modules. Some celeriac to go in as modules. Another little plant there. A few more down there. They look brassica-ish. If I looked at the labels on the front, I might be able to tell you what they are. Broccoli, kale and cauliflower in there. And some red cabbage. Around here we've got a solitary lettuce that decided to come up after all the other modules got planted out. And some basil. We have as well in our polytunnel 2 vines, grapevines. So they're coming back to life and doing rather well. So just up from the polytunnel now, and we start working in the top garden. So we created this bed here. We've got a couple of buddleias, some heuchera, chamomile. Tried putting a bit of vinca in the back there. This was then the original bed that I started to plant a good few years ago now, so that's what the roses are taking up nicely. Some rambling roses in the back, again some more heuchera, some sedum in there. So this has all been weeded back. I need to build some trellising to try and hold back some of these roses. There's bougainvillea and all sorts of other bits and pieces. We've just finished a load of clumps of snowdrops, and it looks. So I've also put in a new bed here. When we started doing the footings for the new build, just here, we moved a tree and plonked it on the grass and then kind of promptly forgot about it. So this tree, promptly got forgotten about. It is then rooted in situ. So I decided to rock out and earth up and make a bit of a bed around it. So I've put in a sambuca there with it, and I can't for the life of me remember that one there, but there's something else in there, and some aqualegia plants, which I don't know if they'll that one looks quite healthy, the others have gone a bit limp. There's a white jasmine, and I've started to put in what's going to be a very rustic archway, the annoying Labrador that disappears every 10 seconds. I've also managed to then weed and chip out and put a willow fedge round the top bed, so all the way around the outside of this bit of garden has been weeded, wood chipped and sorted, and I put in a few extra plants. We've got another white jasmine in this side, and if the dogs don't keep getting in the way, I'll show you some of the others. Is that one the fastia? Oh, no, that's a skimmia in there. Another little one. I think those are sort of berberis related type things. The lavenders that we put in ages ago are all taking mostly, and there's the fascia and another little berberis on the end. Yep. The daisies are going nicely finally, and the willow fedge looks a bit better and healthy around this side. And there's big geraniums and things there. So my next project is down here through the willow fedge, this mess here, and all the way around the outside of it, which should look like a rockery, but it's been overtaken by nettles and brambles. You can see through there. We've got a Gordon Gunnera there, and somewhere a bit further down there's a wild, an umbrella plant, and we seem to have wild cherries that are self-seeded in there, so that's going to end up being a little treed grove. We did have all our daffs out on the top of the bank, but they've gone over now. So coming through what will be my archway eventually, we've got the orchard. We've got a mixture of pears, plums, apples in here, and quite a few of them are starting to blossom. The dogs have decided to start having a squabble and a race round. Behind me is one of James's beehives peeking through the apple trees over there. Let's see if we can get that in. There we go, on the hillside there's one of James's beehives. We've got another 2, 3 to put out, and another little project then. It's going to be getting this hedge line into some sort of order. There's a wild red currant and some vinca in there, in that hedgerow, and lots of berberis, and there's a beautiful tea rose in there, and then it goes off into the wild hedgerow of blackthorn and things. So I'm thinking about putting another bed in here, just across the top here, giving space for the tractor to get into the orchard to mow, but putting another bed into sort of this knobbly bit of rubble that's been left. But here's the other side then of the willow fedge, and you can see the brambles and nettly mess that I'm going to work my way through, find all the nice rocks. Hopefully with your help, we'll find all the nice rocks and plant it up with some alpines and bits and pieces and end up with quite a nice rockery there. So here's a bit more of the other end. So what will be a bit of a bog garden. I think my eldest wants a dinosaur garden in there. And a few more of the little trees there. Some of these little trees we brought with us when we moved. And then down here, I've got the startings again. The willow's starting off where I coppiced it all. It's all basketry willow we've got down here. So I coppiced all that back and I've replanted some. So this is one of my willow beds, and it needs weeding again, big time actually. So all the little stalled willows, that's year 1 now of cutting them, so they're all there. There's a big one there, that's one of the ones we planted sort of first year of moving here, and I think there's one I missed over there. Oops, but hey ho, that's okay. Again, we need to cut this bank right back again. The brambles are getting up and going a bit bananas, and then this needs serious amounts of weeding. And then in this field here, which is, we come full circle now, round back to the chicken enclosures, just t'other end of the field. The line of black plastic there, I've planted a load more willows. So a lot of the willows that I coppiced this year, I took a chunk and I made another willow bed for the basketry willow, because that's one of the things I'm hoping to really get into and get started with. Just beyond the fence then, you can see all our new woodland. So that got planted in, so it's a section between the old woodland and what we made into field. It was a bit too steep to keep mowing, and that woodland then was planted the year that William was born. So the new build's coming along quite well. We've started painting the outside. Once that's done, this area here, around as the edge here, is going to be made into a flower bed. On the corner here is going to be a gate post then, so we can put a gate across the front, stop the naughty Labrador escaping. Maybe a little gate at the side there. So this is sort of basically our early yard bit slash our patio doors. So we've got a few things here in pots. There's mint, more heucheras, geranium, sarcococcus, bay, all sorts of bits and pieces. I've started cannibalising some of the pots, as you can see there. So one of our lavenders went a bit bananas and then got attacked by beasts from the east out on the front wall. So I've grown on 2 little lavenders in a pot, and I've moved them out there and left this one in here. Bits and pieces starting to come up in the pots. These haven't been sorted at all yet. Some little daisies that trail, asters, all sorts of bits and pieces, but they're all ready for dividing. So as soon as I get that bed in, I can start dividing some of this stuff and putting it out, which would be rather nice. So a few more herbs on the end there. A rosemary that's never looked very alive in its life. Some oregano, golden oregano. And then finally in the pot here we've got some wild violets and some little sedums. The little sedums were rescued because they'd sort of fallen off the wall into the road and gone for miles. And the little wild violets Mum had out of her patio last year, so I'm gradually separating chunks out. So some have gone in the wall at the front. Some of these are now going to go into the bank along there by the polytunnel. So hopefully we'll have little bits of colour popping up. So currently this is what my yard looks like. Piles and piles and piles of wood and brush. Neighbour's clearing some land, and he's donated the brush for us to chunk through, and then this is the wood from some coppicing we had done. Basically it's going to go into our firewood pile, because everything in our house is so heating, hot water is all, and oven is all wood fired. And yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the little wander around the bit of the small holding. Maybe soon I'll give you a little wander out to go and see the livestock, the 2 ponies and the sheep that we've also got. We're now up to 6 sheep here, having been gifted one on Christmas Eve by a neighbour. And I hope to see you again soon.